Nice man, 8 minutes, and we can't get hold of him, just left a message on voicemail. So we will crack on. So, good morning. My name is Councillor Ian Wilson. I'm acting chair of the Licensing and Regulatory Subcommittee, and the other members are Councillor Arthur Williams and Councillor Deborah Squires-Coleman. And the committee's legal advisor is Mr. William Butcher. We're also joined by the Democratic Services Officer, who will be noting today's proceedings. Before we start, I'd like to remind everybody to please switch off their mobile phones, or at least put them to silent. There is an emergency evacuation announcement. There's no planned fire drills, so if the alarm activates, please leave the building in an orderly fashion via your nearest fire exit. Please take a moment to note where that is. There are no fire drills, as I say. In the event of the fire alarm sounding, leave the building via the nearest exit and make your way to the assembly point located in the market car park adjacent to this building. Please do not delay your evacuation to collect any belongings and do not return to the building until given permission to do so by council staff. Please be informed that this hearing is being live streamed, so please switch your microphone on when speaking. Okay, I'd like now to ask if there are any declarations of interest in this issue. Councillor Stanley.
Just to say to you that I'm part of the licensing committee previous, so I'm here just as a resident. Thank you.
Thanks, thank you, Councillor Stanley. The committee will follow the procedures set out in the procedural note at item 3 on the agenda, which you should all have sight of. The subcommittee will consider the report of the Senior Licensing Officer. Members of the Licensing and Regulatory Subcommittee will determine the application through consideration of the information contained in this report, the application for a street trading consent and any appendices combined with submissions made at this Licensing and Regulatory Subcommittee hearing. So, could the applicant or their representative introduce themselves, please? Okay. And I presume, therefore, they have no witnesses they intend to call. Okay, and to the council's officers, would the council's licensing officer please introduce themselves?
Brad Wheeler, Senior Licensing Officer.
Beg your pardon? Say again?
Brad Wheeler, Senior Licensing
Brad,
Officer.
thank you.
It's Paul Adams, Licensing Manager.
Thank you. Any witnesses you wish to call?
No, thank you.
Okay. And are there any other interested parties or representatives that have indicated in advance that they wish to speak to introduce themselves, please?
Good morning. My name's Judy Law. I am one of the business owners in Hambro Parade.
Thank you.
I also have a witness with me today, Jessica Davis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Karen Tracy. I'm here on behalf of my mother-in-law, who's a resident.
Thank you. And Councillor Stanley?
Councillor Stanley as resident of the area. Thank you.
Thank you. So, have all parties received the agenda and report for today's hearing?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, Chairman. Sorry. I have some late evidence. I'm really sorry. It's just some photos showing the traffic issues, and it's related to my submission that we submitted already. But would I be able to, would the committee take the photos to look at today?
One moment. I'm advised it's too late, I'm afraid. It should have been submitted previously.
All right, okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Okay, the committee will follow procedures set out on the item 3 on the agenda. So could all parties please be reminded that there is a total of 15 minutes to present their case. So if there are 5 objectors, then you've got 3 minutes each. So for the avoidance of doubt, if there is more, any one interested party speaking for more than 15 minutes, it will be apportioned appropriately. All parties that make submissions will be given 2 minutes at the end of the hearing to make a closing statement. So now I will invite the Council's Licensing Officer to summarise the application.
Good morning, members. You have read my report containing the papers between pages 9 to 13 and the attached appendices. I will refer to the key points contained within that report. An application for a street trading consent has been made under the Local Government Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1982, Schedule 4, subparagraph 7, subparagraph 1. It's been submitted to the licensing authority by Mr. Hussein Yields.
Can you be careful to speak to the microphone? It's coming and going. Thank you.
Who has applied to trade in Rorath Lane, Rayleigh, to sell kebabs, burgers, chips, chicken, cold drinks during Monday to Sunday between 4 p.m. and 11 p.m. A copy of the application and the location plan is attached to the report as Appendix A. The application was consulted upon and relevant representations was received during the consultation period. 24 representations were received, of which 23 were rejecting and 1 in support of the application. A copy of the representations are included in Appendix B. Having viewed the main objections, these raise concerns of loss of parking spaces, the potential of litter, noise, odour nuisance and concerns of food hygiene. Along with the representations, a petition was signed by 89 people objecting to the application. A copy of the petition is included in Appendix C. During the consultation period, Essex Highways responded suggesting additional conditions should the application be granted. These are attached as Appendix D. Having considered the street trading policy, the report, appendices and the representations that you hear today, the actions open to the Licensing and Regulatory Subcommittee are to A, grant the consent as requested, B, to grant the consent subject to modifications such as additional conditions or a change in the hours where this is appropriate and proportionate to promote the relevant policy objectives, or to C, refuse the application. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. I now invite the applicant to present their submissions. Is somebody here in a position to do that?
There is no person here to do that.
So, are there any interested parties who wish to provide their submissions in this case, please? Councillor Stanley.
Thank you, Chair. As a resident and ward councillor for the area, I wish you to note that the area in question, there will be 2 new units where the garages are, and the parking will be required by those people that occupy those units. At the same time, the units that are at Hambro Parade are quite well used, in as much as that car park area, we, the residents and the local ward councillors, have made representations to Essex County Council to make the car park even bigger than what it was previously, which they have done. They've doubled it in size, and it is quite well used. In fact, it's more than well used. Sometimes you can't get a parking space and you have to go round again to get a parking space. So I don't see any reason, and I can't see where this unit can be put in that car park area as to the fact that it is well used. You can go there of an evening and it is chock-a-block. It really is chock-a-block. And I can't see how this can work. So my recommendation to you is that we decline this unit on the grounds that there is no room for that unit to process. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Stanley. Is another interested party? Thank you.
Thank you, committee. As I said, my name is Judy, and I am the owner and manager of one of the shops on Hambro Parade. The proposed location for the street licence affects the Hambro shops immensely, and as such, I am here today to represent the whole parade, many of whom are obviously working right now. Firstly, the main thing we want to stress is the proposed location is not a lay-by. They are, as mentioned, highly frequently used parking spaces that we require for our customers. When parking is restricted in a tight environment, drivers are forced into unsafe manoeuvres. We are worried about what accidents may occur, the higher risk of accidents, if there was a lack of parking spaces. It is a one-way system to access and exit the parade, and congestion causes backup issues for Holbridge Road as cars wait to access the parade. We also experience a high level of deliveries, Royal Mail, couriers. We also have delivery vans from the wholesalers, the suppliers for the takeaways, the florist, etc. Once again, a very high volume traffic area. Vehicles exiting the parade must immediately join Walworth Lane, which is a very busy road. You then lead directly onto a busy mini roundabout. At peak times, it can be a long wait to exit. We're also concerned that there are actually no safe space for the customers of the kebab van to actually queue, order and wait. The location where they want to be based, you are either standing directly adjacent to the two busy roads, Walworth Lane and Holbridge Road. There are no safety barriers separating the grass verge and the actual traffic. If customers were waiting on the other side, they would directly be in an active traffic lane used by vehicles to either park, because there will still be 2 or 3 parking spaces there, and it is also the exit route. So really, it is not a safe location for customers to be waiting. As mentioned, there are 2 new units coming very soon. Work started on this on the 31st of December. My shop is directly next door to the building site. So over the coming months, we have inconvenience and disruption of construction activity. After that, we're going to have 2 more new retail units. That takes the businesses up to 11 businesses. Currently, 7 of the 9 businesses, we all operate to 7 o'clock. 4 of us go beyond 7 o'clock, up to, say, 10 p.m. So therefore, the peak hours really are 5 o'clock to 7. That is when the parade is most busy, especially on a weekend. And this clashes with, the licence hours that the van would need. Potentially, there may also be 500 new homes being built in Lubbard's Farm, which is directly opposite our parade. So, we are very worried that, this area will become very, very busy. So we believe that this site is very unsuitable for a mobile food licence.
Okay.
And therefore, we would like you to not grant.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Is there another interested party wish to speak?
Yes. If I could call my witness, please, Jessica.
Thank you. My name is Jessica Davies and my home address is 27 Admiral Crescent, Holbridge. I'm a part-time receptionist at Downhall Park Surgery and the doctor in charge is Dr. Jay Weira. I'm making this statement today to oppose the above application. I am stating the facts to the best of my knowledge. And Downhall Park practice has around 5,000 patients and every day around 50 patients will visit the practice to either see doctor or nurse. After each consultation, most patients will go to Hambro Pharmacy, 53A Holbridge Road, to collect their prescription. If the application is granted, this will result in a reduction of 1 parking space along the parade and restrict access to urgent pharmacy services. Hambro Pharmacy is open until 7 p.m. daily and the operation of the kebab van will be from 4 p.m, which will cause a high level of inconvenience to our patients. Most nearby pharmacies are open till 5:30, 6 p.m, and the access to Hambro Pharmacy is critical to the welfare of our patients. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I believe yes, carry on.
Oh, good morning. My name's Karen Tracy. I'm representing my mother-in-law, Beryl Tracy. Now, Beryl is a resident, right next door to the parade. She's 80 years old. Her mobility is not good. Any noise, she lives on her own, and any noise and disruption obviously provides more anxiety. We get many calls from her at night having to visit. I've heard something, can you come and check? With the amount of traffic and the noise, if the kebab van goes ahead, will obviously add to her anxiety. Also, talking with the parking, Mrs. Tracy has her own driveway, which is not on the roundabout, but just off the roundabout. And even now, during the day, she gets lots of vans and cars parked on her driveway, so she's unable to get out. We're unable to get in at some times, and they have been visiting the parade because they've got no other parking space at all during this time. So the times of the kebab van is 4 to 11. That will enhance more traffic as well on her driveway because there's not going to be any spaces, considering what Julie has said with regards to all of the other traffic going on. So of this, I would like to reject this van.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, does any of the parties involved have a closing statement? No? Okay.
Yeah, I would just like to make it clear that I do have some questions for the applicant. But unfortunately, as they've chosen not to attend, those questions cannot be answered. Thank you.
Again, I had quite a few questions for the applicant, but unfortunately he's not here yet.
Chairman, sorry, but do apologise. If the applicant doesn't arrive, does that go against his or that person's approval?
Well, it certainly doesn't help his case, does it?
Exactly. Yeah, so the questions that you would pose, is this something that obviously you will then go ahead and ask to him?
Yeah. Just a confirmation that the issue will be determined today. And he's not here, so he can't speak for himself.
Right, okay.
Okay, in which case then, if there's no more submissions to be heard today, the subcommittee will now adjourn to consider the case and we will return shortly to announce a decision. Thanks very much indeed. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for waiting. We've come to a decision, you'll hear it shortly. But before we move to our legal representative to read it out, I'd just like to say a thank you to everybody that has attended and everyone, particularly those that have participated. It's been quite a nice experience. So can I please pass it over to our legal man? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. So the committee has taken all relevant considerations into account, and that includes the amplified representations made by those of you at the hearing. The committee has noted that the applicant has not attended the hearing, but the committee is nonetheless, as it's required to do by law, it's looked at this application objectively and on the evidence. The committee has decided to refuse the application. This is for several reasons which will be set out in a detailed decision letter. In summary, though, the committee is not satisfied that the proposed location for this van is suitable, and in particular, the committee has concerns relating to the loss of a parking space where there is a high parking demand, and also the potential for noise nuisance and possible low-level antisocial behaviour. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. That's it. Business concluded. Thank you very much for attending.